Hello everybody, my name is Graham Elwood. You are watching The Political Vigilante video, motion graphics. Boom, look at it. This is awesome what the new studio we've got here. This was submitted by Bad Mashups. Very much appreciate that and appreciate all of you for watching the show. Like and subscribe. They are unsubscribing people. We got up over 9,800, but I've been between 97, 9,800 for several months. We need to get over 10,000 subscribers. There's just no two ways about it. I should be at 15, 20,000 subscribers, quite honestly. But this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. So please go to patreon.com to support the show. And also, I've got a live show with some very funny people, Kira Sultanovich, Sam Tripoli from Tinfoil Hat, Jim Bruce and some others, September 22nd in Tarzana, California. Please go to grahamelwood.com. And also Progressive Comedy Tour, Ron Placone, November 2nd, Sacramento, November 3rd, San Francisco. Those shows are selling out, so get on it quick. I want to talk about this happened recently. This is kind of a big deal. The Chicago cops will be required to radio in incidents when they point a gun at someone. This is by Dan Hinkle, the Chicago Tribune. So what currently, this is obviously the fallout from the shootings and the videos that have come out of Chicago in the last couple of years, and Rahm Emanuel was put under a lot of pressure. Weird that a former Obama guy is kind of corrupt. And it, obviously if you shoot your weapon or use a taser, you got to fill out a whole report, but they want to start making officers, if you can just draw your weapon and point it, you have to radio that in, and then they're going to track the data. I'm going to go into this. By July 2019, any Chicago police officer who points a gun at someone during an arrest or street stop would have to inform dispatchers by radio of the incident under a deal between Mayor Emanuel's administration and Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan's office that was introduced Thursday. Cops would have to fill out a use of force report as they do when they use a taser or fire a gun, but supervisors would have to review the gun pointing incident and it would be reported to the city data. The department also would have to develop training on when to point a weapon. Yeah, so I think this is a step in the right direction. Obviously, there's so much that needs to be done with regards to police reform. I'm sure police departments are going to be like, oh, what do we got to, then the cops are going to be afraid to draw their weapon. Well, they only should be drawing it when it's a life-threatening situation. I think that's part of the problem, is it's just become like, just draw the weapon, and then the tensions escalate. I mean, they've done studies where someone is holding a tennis ball and a cop just thinks they have something and immediately go with that. So while some officers might not like this, I think in the long run, this might make officers think a little more in the heat of the situation. Everyone's going to say, oh, you don't know what it's like, you're not a cop. Okay, you're right, I'm not. But clearly there's a problem with policing in America, and especially in Chicago. And this is like a step in the right direction, in my opinion. So the article goes on to say, attorneys and activist groups involved in the consent decree litigation voiced tentative praise for the agreement while raising questions about the completeness and accessibility of the data that would eventually be kept. Attorneys noted that consent decrees governing police departments in other cities categorize pointing a gun as a serious use of force, requiring comparably extensive documentation. Is this a perfect solution? No. Can somebody not radio it in when they point a gun? Can the police departments mess with the numbers? Of course they can. Of course they can. But I think we need more civilian oversight. That's part of the problem, is there's this blue wall. A cop does something, shoots somebody, and the police department just, cop was justified, just automatically. And which gives the appearance of like they're above the law, of guilt and all this other stuff. We need, I believe we should do more community policing. I believe that, like our tactics in this country, other countries aren't so much like, so militarized and just like, shoot first, ask questions later. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Again, this isn't going to just, we passed this law, yay, everything's fixed. That's not how it works. It's going to take time. But I think this is the kind of thing that is a step in the right direction. I can understand why the activist groups are like cautiously optimistic. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnston told the Tribune he never opposed documenting the incidents in some way. All right, that's good to hear. But wanted to prevent the rules from excessively burdening cops who already have to fill out a lot of reports. He noted that officers doing paperwork are not patrolling neighborhoods. Okay, I get that, but how much paperwork is involved after you shoot somebody? These cops that are on trial, any of them wish they would have had this to rethink? And, I bet you a lot of them wish they could have had that moment over again. So, I mean, at least he's saying, yeah, all right, he didn't oppose it because the police union just automatically opposed it. That's part of the problem. Just everybody joins the side. And I understand the police union is supposed to back their guys. I get it. Okay. But when someone shoots unarmed people and cops have all this power and all this force, I've said this before, a cop would just kick this door in with a badge and a gun and get down, and I have to do it, otherwise they're going to shoot me. They still could anyway. A female cop, I believe in Dallas or whatever, I just read this, went into the wrong apartment. She thought it was her apartment. A guy was sitting in his apartment and she shot him because she thought he had broken in. He was a black man. Something's wrong with our policing. Something's wrong in how we're training cops. Something's wrong and we're not dealing. I'm sure their PTSD that they're acquiring from being on the job, that's not being addressed. So there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and we need to. This is a step in the right direction. In January 2017, the Justice Department investigation resulted in a damning report describing Chicago's police as needlessly violent, badly trained, and rarely disciplined. We got to change it. And people that are like super pro cop, okay, yeah, I get it. There's cops, yes, there's cops doing good things, and there's not a big police report when a cop does a good thing, but that's your job. That's your job, is to do a good thing. And also ask yourself, like, I was raised where we like the cops, we respect the cops. I never saw the cops doing anything criminal when I was a little kid living in Madison, Wisconsin. When I moved to Chicago, I saw some different stuff. I'm friends with cops. I don't have some vendetta against them. I have several very good friends that are cops, but I've argued with them that it's not the few bad apple thing. When a report like this comes out, it's not a few bad apples. There's a systemic problem that needs to be addressed. And ultimately, making cops less violent, better trained, and disciplined correctly actually makes your job as a cop easier. Because if the public has more trust in you and what you do, because they know you're better trained, they know if you screw up, you're going to be held to a higher standard, as well you should, they're going to trust you more. Right now, people don't trust you. The black and brown communities don't trust you at all. So this is actually better for you if you're a cop. Thanks for making Gotham great again, folks. Political Vigilante. Like, subscribe, also listen to the podcast on iTunes. A lot of ways to support the show. Thank you.